Hello and welcome back. In this very cool video, I received like I don't know, like 2 days ago, something like this, a cool requested video, and I do apologize. Like I don't actually remember the guy that requested the video, but I really wanted to see what kind of result we will get. So the requested video was how quick or how fast a car can go, or how quick around the test track a car can go with only 150 horsepower. That's it, 150 horsepower. Alright, so it was good, it was a good request, but there was a little problem, which is, should I make like a drag racing car that can only go quick from 0 to 100 as quick as possible using 150 horsepower, or should I make a track car that can go around the test track as quickly as possible, or should I make both, or maybe should I make like a top speed I'm not saying like a top speed land record car, whatever they call it. No, I mean a car with a high top speed. I don't know what to do, so I took these three ideas and made them into one car. And this car, as you can see, it's the Inferno, or the Inferno in Italian, because yes, from now on I would love to name like all of my cars using the Italian language. As you can see, the Inferno, Centocinquanta, and that means in Italian, that means, if you translate it to English, 150, because this car is making 150 horsepower. Yeah, and I named it the Inferno Cinquanta. That means 150. As you can see, here goes the model name on the side here, and the Inferno here, and we have also an Inferno on the rear of the car. So basically, the car is looking absolutely beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's quick, it's not slow at all, and it's made from carbon fiber, as you can tell. And yeah, so let's crack on with the video. But before we start with all of the specs, I would love to remind you guys that please, if you enjoyed the video, remember to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and you can watch all my previous videos. Like, I made tremendous amount of videos and the amazing amount of cars, like slow cars, fast cars, economical cars, SUVs, off-roaders. We made it all. And actually, there was a good news. Like a lot of cool fans told me lately, and I saw it on the official website of Automation Game and BeamNG. If you know the game, the BeamNG game is just it's a very good game. It's a beautiful game with amazing physics for cars. Like you can drive a car, you can drift it, you can enjoy driving it, you can crash it, and you actually crashing car using the BeamNG, whatever the name of the game is. I'm gonna put the link of the in the description below for the Steam page for it. You can watch it. It's an amazing game, and actually crashing cars in it is more fun than driving them. But the good news are that you can at July 13th, the 13th of July, you can actually, like, you see this car in front of you right now, this Inferno, you can save it as a file, or actually transport it to the other game, the BeamNG. You can transport it over there, and you can drive it. And I'm not kidding, you can drive it and enjoy it and experience the acceleration and the handling of it in that game. And it's like a collaboration between Automation Game and BeamNG, and that's really amazing. I genuinely cannot wait, because I have tremendous amount of cars, like with V16s, turbos, 1000 horsepower, 2000 horsepower, muscle cars, tuners, SUVs, off-roaders. I want to drive them all and enjoy them, and I hope that you are excited as I'm excited. Alright, so let's begin and let's crack on with the video. As you can see, we have carbon fiber panel material for the body. We have monocoque chassis type, carbon fiber chassis material, and of course front transverse, not longitudinal, because hello, we have only 150 horsepower, and putting it front longitudinal placement, that means you want to make it rear-wheel drive, and you can actually make it front-wheel drive. And I've tried it actually. I'm gonna be honest, I tried it with longitudinal because it looks better actually in longitudinal, but it made the car slower because of course the car's central gravity, the low center of gravity was bad. So yeah, with transverse, it made it much more balanced, much better, and it performed perfectly on the test track. So front transverse double wishbone in front, because double wishbone is much better than McPherson strut. And usually when you make a transverse front transverse engine placement, we usually use McPherson strut because McPherson is much more compact. If you want to put like a 2-liter engine, 2.5, even a 3-liter engine using transverse, it's impossible with double wishbone. It's really impossible because there is no place to put the engine because of this, because of the suspension. But since the engine is so tiny, and I want to make the car to handle perfectly around the test track, that's why you can use double wishbone here with a tiny engine, and it worked perfectly. Now moving on to the rear. The rear of the car, as you can see, I'm using push rods because I want to push the car to the limit. I want to see how quick this car can go around the test track with only 150 horsepower, or 150 horsepower-ish, 150-ish, as you will see later. So carbon fiber, everything, the best suspension, front and rear, everything is good. And as you can see, everything is on +15 quality. So you will see a car with +15 quality on absolutely everything except some minor things. I'm gonna put it on minus, actually -15, not +15. So yeah, don't tell me in the comment section below that the production units will take thousands and thousands of years and it will take decades, and I know that. I genuinely know that, and I don't care about that because this is a one-time shot. This is like I want to experience the limitations of this body only with 150 horsepower engine. That's it. I'm not gonna produce the car. I'm not gonna say this car is for sale. No, this is not for sale, and absolutely no one is interested in it. Use it on the market page. So let's move on. This is the engine that I made for this beast here. As you can see, it's a 4-cylinder engine. It's very obvious. It's an inline-4 engine, magnesium block because it's the lightest as possible. 70mm on the bore, 65mm on the stroke, which equals a 1001cc engine or a 1-liter engine. Dual overhead camshafts with five valves per cylinder. Aluminium silicon head material, no VBL of course, that's very obvious. Billet steel crankshaft, lightweight titanium or titanium connecting rods, lightweight forged pistons, +15 quality. We have, yes, and this is very awesome, maxed out, and as you can see it's very obvious, maxed out compression ratio, which is 15.0 to 1. Extremely, and I mean it, it's extremely high compression ratio for a fuel for a fueled engine, not a diesel engine, for a petrol engine. Sorry, for a petrol engine, 15.0 to 1. That's extremely high, and I mean extremely high because usually you see 16.0 to 1 on diesel engines, not petrol engines, because diesel will not knock, and they need to push the compression extremely high so they can combust the diesel, because diesel there are no spark plugs in diesel engines, and they need to combust the diesel and ignite it using the compression of the engine. That's why you see diesel with 17.0 to 1. But you see, when you see 15 on a petrol engine, well, that's very extreme, and you need to use an extreme amount of octane to run the engine normally without any problems, with not much compression, with not much ignition time, because, well, if you have so much compression, you cannot put so much ignition timing in. Yeah, so you need to be careful when you tune this engine when you have this much of compression. 100 on the cam profile. This is very obvious because I'm building like a racing engine. Variable valve timing on all cams. Well, why not? +15 quality on the camshafts and everything related to them. Natural aspirated. Direct fuel injection, throttle per cylinder or individual throttle bodies with performance intake manifold, because I want to keep the engine reliable, and also because I have a limit of horsepower, which is 150. And yeah, I mean right now I actually went over the limit by a little bit, like 154 horsepower. Yeah, I know I went over, but because I want to make the horsepower to peak extremely late. I don't want the horsepower to peak very early. Like, I want 11,000 RPM. I want that. I don't want the engine to be just 10,500 RPM. I want to go more. So yeah, 154, 150, 153 and a half. It's not actually a big of a deal. I'm using 100 octane ultimate fuel, as you can see, the best one, which is like a racing fuel. It's actually not a racing fuel, because racing fuel usually they are rated at 113, 107 octane, 130, something like this. This is only 100, so it's the best we can get. That's why I went with it. 14.0 to 1. It's actually a very lean fuel mixture for a natural aspirated 15.0 to 1 is the compression ratio. Yes, it's very lean actually for it. But since I have the limitation of 100, the limit is 150 horsepower. I mean, if I want to push this engine more, I really can, and it's really easy. Just set the air fuel ratio to 13.0, push the ignition timing a little bit more, a little bit bigger exhaust system, and you can achieve like 180, even 200 horsepower. Really, I'm not kidding. You can achieve extra 50 horsepower just by adding a little bit of fuel, like from 14 to 13 or 12.9, and push the ignition timing to 100. Job done. A little bigger exhaust system, plus 15 quality. Job done. 200 horsepower from a 1 liter engine. Easy. Let's move on. 11,500 is the RPM limit, plus 15 quality. We have racing tubular header with single exhaust pipe, 2-inch exhaust diameter, 50.8 mm, high flow 3-way catalytic converter, and we have no first muffler, straight through second muffler with plus 7 quality. Because more than plus 7, the power will peak much earlier. Actually, it will peak at 10,500. I don't want to do that. And yeah, it's perfect like this. 154 horsepower, or actually it's 153.5 horsepower at 11,100 RPM. The torque is 94.2 pound-feet of torque. The engine is extremely lightweight. Well, yeah, I don't care about these two. The engine is extremely reliable. It's efficient. We are using nearly all of the octane, and the emissions are extremely low. The engine is actually very clean. And it's surprisingly smooth because the engine is so tiny, and that's why it's very smooth. Throttle response is extremely high. Noise, it's high, but it's not extremely high because plus 7 quality exhaust, and it's a straight through muffler. So we have a muffler here. This is not a straight through pipe, and it's actually awesome. Check out the engine. The intake manifold is made from carbon fiber, which is really awesome. You have 4 individual throttle bodies. Performance intake system with, of course, a high performance airbox. You have a racing tubular header, which is really awesome and really good looking. The engine is really awesome, so let's fire it up. This is how it looks from the inside. It's very awesome. What an absolute beast. Let me show you something. Let me show you this bit. Check out the headers. Check out the header for the engine. Yes. Oh, actually look. Wow, I just noticed that. When you are building a longitudinal, and I promise you, if you have the game, check it out. Check it. I really genuinely check it out. If you are building an inline 4 engine, right, and if you are setting it in your car as a longitudinal engine, a longitudinal placement, the racing tubular header, it will have, I promise you this, it will have a different look, a different shape than this. It will not look like this. I promise you that. But if you switch it, if you have the engine as a longitudinal, it will look very different than this. I promise you, it will have much more bends and it will look very weird. But when you switch it to a transverse placement, the racing tubular, no, don't change it. Keep it racing tubular, but it will change the shape because the exhaust will go underneath the engine block, as you can see underneath the oil pan. That's why it will look very different. The regular racing tubular with longitudinal, it will actually the bends of the head, it will go down like this. It will go down from here. It will connect to this pipe, and that's it, to the rear, from here to there. But when you set the engine as a transverse, this will change shape. It will change the shape of and the design of the racing tubular, so the pipes can go underneath the engine, because that's how it will be in the car, underneath the block, underneath the oil pan, and then it will bend like this and to the pipe. I just noticed that. Wow, that's very awesome. That's very actually good attention to details, that the header actually of the engine, that will change shape. That's very awesome. Alright, so alright, I want to show you. I was talking about the header. Check out the header right now. The reason why I told you to check out the headers, because any engine, any naturally aspirated engine that can make the racing tubular header, any naturally aspirated engine that can make the racing tubular headers to glow really hard red or bright yellow actually, that means this engine is an absolute beast. It's like a true racing engine, because not any engine can make the racing tubular headers too bright, to glow red or bright red, bright yellow color. No, not any engine can. And when you have this, not only naturally aspirated engine, not only 4-cylinder engine, even a V8, a V12, any naturally aspirated engine that can make the racing tubular headers to glow, that means it's a true racing, a true high performance engine. I promise you this. Try it. Not any engine can make them glow, but if you can, that means your engine is pretty much a beast, a true beast. Alright, so let's move on. I've chosen this, what is it? Not the hatchback actually, what is it? Yes, this one. The 2009 coupe or coupe body. It looks very awesome. And I think you already know what kind of car in real life. If you look at this body here, you already know, especially this one. If you look at this one, you already know what car I'm talking about, what real car uses this kind of body in real life. So as you can see, plus 15 quality on the body and the fixtures, and I've chosen this regular red color, nothing special. The rich red, I made it before because this is the regular red that Automation Game developed, and I don't actually like it because it looks very deep, very dark. No, I like a bright rich red, which as you can see right now looks very awesome. Moving on, these are the fixtures of the car. The front, we have two front grills, the front logo, side vents, the front headlights, as you can see, carbon fiber bonnet or hood. You have these amazing looking rims, very much see-through. You can see absolutely everything behind them. You have the Inferno logo with the company logo. You have, of course, carbon fiber side mirrors, carbon fiber door handles, carbon fiber door and window trim, and of course carbon fiber fuel filler cap, carbon fiber rims. You have these tail lights. They look absolutely amazing, and if you look really close, like deep inside, no, where is it? If you look deep close, they are made, the inside of them, and the tail light itself, the base of it is made from, yes, carbon fiber. And of course the license plate holder, let me show you, yes, carbon fiber holding. As you can see, the rear spoiler is made, of course, from carbon fiber. And even the exhaust pipe housing itself is made from carbon fiber. Basically everything is made from carbon fiber, so I can make it as much light as possible. Even the front grills, as you can see, carbon fiber the same. Even the headlights, the inside of them, as you can see, the housing itself is made from carbon fiber. The only option that I really wish that maybe Automation Game that will develop is like making the roof is from carbon, because the roof nowadays, a lot of cars, a lot of high performance cars, you see the roofs are made from carbon fiber, and we should have an option that can display that. Alright, so the car is looking an absolute beast. Let's move on. As you can see, I'm using transverse front wheel drive, because front wheel drive is actually much quicker using 150 horsepower tiny engine. With front wheel drive, it made a really big of a difference between front wheel drive and rear wheel drive. When I use this engine as a rear wheel drive, long dual engine placement. It made a good time, it's not bad, but with front wheel drive transverse, it made like 2-second difference. I promise you, 2-second difference on the track, and this is actually much better. So transverse front wheel drive, dual clutch, 6-speed ratios or 6 ratios, because it made the big of a difference, very big difference. 235 kilometers per hour is the gearbox top speed, or if you are talking scientifically, 7.73 to 1 is the final drive, 28 on the spacing, electric limited slip differential with plus 15 quality, radial semi-slick tires, 245 is the front width of the tires, 200 on the rear, 630 is the tire diameter with 18-inch rims, 70 on the rear offset, 0 on the front offset, carbon fiber rims with plus 15 quality. You have carbon ceramic front discs with a single piston. Yes, I'm not kidding, a single piston, because the car is extremely lightweight, and it won't take. It will take like very little effort to stop. You don't need very brutal force to stop. I promise you this. Carbon ceramic, also single piston, 250mm on the rear, 36 on the pad type. 75% of the brake base goes to the front, 25% goes to the rear, plus 15 quality. We have downforce. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I mean, in real life, as we all know, like a front-wheel drive car, it doesn't need it does not need rear downforce, because it will push the rear wheel to the ground, and it will just lift the front wheels, right? That's very obvious. That's what we all think. But in automation game, it's a different story. And please, if anyone really knows anything about aerodynamics, I would love if you can explain it to me in the comment section below. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what happened here. I mean, because I watch like a lot of sporty cars, a lot of scientific videos like about aerodynamics, usually on YouTube. They always say like you need to stick the front wheels to the ground, because you need grip, because the power goes to the front, right? And the rear tires are just, well, they're just bouncing around. Nothing is controlling them except the suspension, right? And when you put rear downforce on the rear brakes, on the rear tires in a front-wheel drive car, it's not really efficient, because you are sticking the rear tires to the ground, and the front wheels are there is no aerodynamics on them. They are not pushed to the ground. So what you need to do is you need to put a front lip, so you can push the front wheels to the ground, so you can make them stick to the ground, and you just don't care about the rear tires, right? And that's what I thought. When I started making this car, I used a front lip here, a carbon fiber front lip, and it looked very awesome. But it made the car extremely slow. I mean, really slow. And I'm not kidding, really slow. And I removed it, and I kept this rear wing, and it made the car much quicker. And then I started to increase the rear wing angle by a lot, like 20-30, and the lap time started to get quicker and much quicker, until I achieved 100 on the rear wing angle, and it made the car so much quick on fully clad under tray. Because I thought, well, downforce, it will not make any difference on a front wheel drive car. And then I switched to downforce, and it made the car much faster, really quick, like a half a second difference. And I started to increase the downforce until I reached 30, which made the quickest time, and then I kept going 31, 32 until 50, and the car started to get slower. So I stuck on 30, and it made the best time here with 0 on the front lip. Actually, there is no front lip. 100 on the rear wing, and downforce on 30. And that is sweet for me. I don't know, because maybe the body is a little bit long, maybe we need a rear downforce, but I don't know, because I always see on real life, and I always see even scientific results, that you need to put a front downforce on the front wheel in a front wheel drive car, right? But in automation game, that was the opposite. It's the opposite here. And please, if you can explain it to me in the comment section below, why is it an error in the game, or is it real in real life that front wheel drive cars, they need like a real downforce? I don't know. Explain it to me in the comment section below if you know, please. Alright, so let's move on. The engine cooling is 51, the brake cooling is 100 on plus 15 quality on the aerodynamics. You have only a single seat because it's a racing car. Basic interior because it's the lightest. No entertainment, minus 15 quality, so I can make it as light as possible. Electric variable power steering, electronic stability control plus launch control, plus 15 quality. I know plus launch control in a 150 horsepower is actually rubbish, but I want to increase the sportiness value, so I used it. Why not? Plus 15 quality, no safety equipments, minus 15 quality, so I can make it light as possible. Progressive springs, semi-active dampers, active sway bars, and as you can see. And before we continue, the reason why I chose progressive instead of active sport, because active sport is extremely heavy. I don't want to make it heavy. I want to keep the car as light as possible, and progressive will do the job just fine. As you can see, custom suspension setup, negative 2 degrees of camber in the front, positive 0.3 degrees of camber on the rear. Spring stiffness 1.40 front, 2.0 in the rear. Damper stiffness 1.40 in the front, 1.0 in the rear. Sway bar thickness 1000 front, 1600 on the rear, and 137.3 mm on the ride height with plus 15 quality. And this is the final result. It's actually here. This is the engine, this is the body result, and as you can see, the car is very drivable. Anyone can drive it. It's extremely sporty. It's not really that much comfortable, and it's not really prestigious because, well, there is nothing comfortable, there is nothing luxurious in the car. I mean, yes, it's made from carbon fiber, which is extremely prestigious, but it's not really luxurious in any way. So prestige point, well, it's normal. Safety, it's not really safe because, well, there is no safety equipment. It's practical, and I think because we have big trunk in the rear, or big boot, so you can put a lot of stuff in it. That's why it's practical. And utility, this for the same reason. Reliability is extremely reliable, and environmental resistance, well, this is very extreme because the car is made entirely from carbon fiber and plus 15 quality on everything. That means the car will never ever rust. That's very awesome. We can do 44 miles per gallon, which is very cool. Emissions are very the car is extremely clean, actually, very clean. Service cost, check this out, $17,277. That is very expensive. Wow. All right, so let's move on. This is the track section here, as you can see, and I'm actually wondering why. I want to check something, if you don't mind. Like 30 right now. Downforce. This is very weird. I promise you, this is very weird. I mean, yes, the top speed is 235, or this is the final drive for the gearbox, but I promise you, this used to be 220 kilometers per hour with this much downforce, with 30 on downforce and 100 on the rear wing, and now it's 235. As you can see, I didn't change anything. What is it? Here we go. 100, 0, active, 30, downforce, plus 15 quality, and it's still 235. It's like we lost, I don't know, we lost aerodynamics or something. I don't know. We will check the time and see if it will stay the same or not. So 0 to 100 time in 4.1 seconds. Quarter mile in 12.43. This is not a drag racing car. No, this is a track car, as you will see, because it's extremely fun to drive, and 150 horsepower. It's actually very awesome, and with 11,000 RPM, 11,500, you will feel it. I mean, no, we are not driving the car. We are not driving it really, not until July 13th, but you can actually see how much fun the driver is having by sticking only 559 kilograms. The car is extremely lightweight. It's like a featherweight with 150 horsepower. You can feel how much the driver is having fun. You're seeing how much acceleration he's pushing and how much braking he's pushing, and the speed, the acceleration, the G meter. You can feel how much fun he's having because extremely lightweight and very powerful. That's very awesome. Alright, so let's verify the time and run it. Alright, so it made 115.53 same time, but you saw how much fun it's really fun to drive, and this car I really cannot wait to drive it in BeamNG because it will be awesome. What's the name of the car? BNNG? What the hell is the name of the car of the game? Alright, so let's move on. I will check the name right now because, well, I mean, I play it and I totally forgot the name of it, but it's BNNG or BeamNG. Alright, so let's move on. So let's go to the automation test track because when the top speed used to be 220, and I genuinely don't know what happened. Suddenly, when I went back to the beginning of the process of making this car before the engine at this stage here, when I went back to start recording the video, and I continue with you step by step, and now the top speed increased from 220 to 235, and when it used to be 220 on the straight line here, yes, we achieved 220. I promise you, we achieved 220 kilometers per hour. I mean that we achieved the top speed of the car here before, and I don't know if we will achieve 235 right now or not. So I'm gonna just run it and shut my mouth out. That's actually quick. 2 minutes or 2:05.96. That's very quick. I mean, 5 seconds more than 2 minutes, which I always say, like if you are building a car and this car is achieving doing this track below 2 minutes, I consider it an extremely fast car, and this is only 2:05, and that's very awesome. And we only have 150 horsepower, but that tells you how good the chassis is, how good the body is, and how good the suspension is. It's really amazing to see this amazing car with this amazing power and torque. And well, the torque is not actually that much, but the results, the time and everything is really awesome. If you actually look very close, check it out. You can see, look at the mouse cursor. Look at it. You see? Look at it right now. Here, over there. You can see actually the engine, the 4-cylinder engine that we built. It's actually over there in the dyno testing room. And if we go back, let me go back to the engine testing room. Here we go. What do you see? The car. Check it out. The car is over there. We are building the car. The car is over there, and the engine is over here. And if you go back to the car, as I mentioned here, you can see actually the engine is over there. And that is very awesome. That's very good attention to details. And I really cannot wait to see the update on July the 13th, because I mean, I genuinely never thought that the Beam and the Beam NG that they will do a collaboration with automation game. It's really awesome, and I keep hating the fact that this keep changing shape. Alright, so this is the car, this is how it looks, and it's looking very awesome. So thank you so much guys for watching. Please, if you enjoy the video, I do apologize if this video was too long, but the results are speaking for themselves. So thank you so much guys for watching. Please, if you enjoy the video, I would genuinely like if you can hit that like button, get subscribed if you are new to the channel, and of course share the video if you want to share it. Hit that notification bell button so you can get a notification each time I release a new video. So thank you so much, and I will say thanks to everyone that has subscribed, and that is to everyone that went with me from day one on this channel. We come a long way. We came a long way since I started this channel on YouTube, and I'm really happy to see a lot of the cool guys on the Snapchat group, like discussing and supporting the channel in every possible way, in your requests and in your amazing creations. So thank you so much for watching, and I will say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone that has supported the channel. So alright, if you want to request an engine or a custom engine or a custom car, but not a replica of a car, because automation technology is not supporting a replica of a current car, but you can request a custom car or a custom engine, and even you can request a replica of a current engine if the game can support it. Check the game first if the game can support it or not. And if you want to request a car or an engine, you need to add my Snapchat. It's Lord Bas94, Lord BAS94, so I can add you on the channel group on Snapchat, so you can request a video over there, and you can have fun, you can chat with everyone, you can discuss automation game or cars, whatever. So this is the Inferno Centocinquanta, whatever the name of it is, the Centocinquanta, whatever the name of it. I'm not really good in Italian, but yeah, it looks very awesome and very beautiful actually. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you very soon, and goodbye for now, my friends.